Welcome to the Athletes in Motion podcast, From Race to Recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Kenny, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Tom. How are you?
I'm fantastic as well. I just want to point out that I blinked that time when I said fantastic, which was pointed out to me that I blink a lot when I say I'm fantastic, not blinking this time. Really focused on that.
Well, that makes you extra
more
fantastic. There you go. I mean, if you're not blinking, are you really fantastic? So
seriously, I know, right? So. Totally. But we're doing good. Really fantastic. We had a little bit of a lull where we were both so busy trying to get some content out here for everybody, bouncing all over the place. So it's just you and I. We're going to catch up on a few things today.
Sure.
First, a little bit of business. Make sure you go on and review, give us 5 stars, thumbs up, do all that fun stuff, and make sure to subscribe. Whether you're on the YouTube channel or you're listening on Apple or Spotify or any of those places that you're getting your audio version of this, if you're staring at our wonderful, handsome faces on our YouTube channel too, make sure you subscribe to that. We got some good stuff coming up. So
yeah, we do.
All good on that, right? So let's jump in. We've got a few things we wanted to cover today. We're in the middle of summer. It's August, although here in Middle Tennessee, we had a very nice false fall, which is going to go away, and we're going to be back to normal summer heat and humidity. But we're going to talk a little bit about heat training, preparing for our fall races. We're going to cover a little on that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Louisville, which I actually didn't race, even though I was going to. I think we talked about that before. So a little bit of some hereditary medical things that are happening. We're going to touch a little bit on that. But what we learned from the heat and the race in Louisville. And then we're going to talk a little bit about HYROX because Kenny's going to do HYROX. So
you heard it here first, folks.
Let's kick off with that, right? Let's talk about what the hell is it? I mean, it's been all over the pages of all the social media stuff, and it seems to be the latest awesome craze of taking CrossFit to another level. Is it, or what is it?
I think the joke is, it's sort of, they say for people that burned out on CrossFit and burned out on triathlon, it's sort of a hybrid of both. So nice. What makes HYROX a little bit different than, like, for example, a CrossFit. A CrossFit is functional movement, a lot of Olympic movements, and you don't know what the workout's going to be when you get there. It could be anything from you're going to go swim outside to you're going to lift a lot of heavy Olympic weights, or you're going to have to do a rope climb and then do burpees until you die, or pull-ups, muscle ups, the whole 9 yards. But you just don't know. Yeah. What HYROX decided to do was make it a little less Olympic movement, a little bit more row machine, kind of farmer's walk, something that everybody can do. And then what makes it unique is it's indoors, and it is a combination of you run 8 kilometers total. So the first thing you do is you do a 1 kilometer run, and then you do your first exercise, and that's like I believe it's a cable row. So you do 1,000 kilometers on a cable row. You get up, you go to you run, and then you sit on a ski erg, and then you go run a kilometer, and then you do farmer's walk, and then you run a kilometer, and then the last thing you do is 100 wall balls, and then you go run a kilometer and you're done.
Nice.
So the idea is it's a lot of running involved. So a lot of burned out triathletes that started lifting heavy weights like me. It's great because you need that endurance. Anybody that does a HYROX event, and I haven't done one yet, but I've talked to a lot of people that have, it's the first thing out of their mouth is you go run. Like, worry less about, can I do walking lunges with a 40-pound bag. The other thing that makes it kind of interesting is the fact that rumor has it you don't really need to go do a workout. There's no time limit on it. If it takes you 4 hours to do it, it takes you 4 hours to do it.
Okay.
That 95% of the people that start it end up finishing it. And yes, you want to train for it. You have people that are 8-time CrossFit champion, Tia Claire Toomey, that is crushing it in under an hour. I mean, world record. She's an animal. Those people go off and do their thing. or you have the human beings that do it between an hour and 30 and 2 hours if you're in good shape. And then those that are it's just like any other thing. It's like a marathon.
Just like any endurance
have
sport.
People walking.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get that kind of endurance, adrenaline rush to it, but you get to stop and lift heavy stuff and pull sled pull, sled push.
Okay.
The other thing that's kind of neat is you can do it as a team, or you can do it as an individual, or you can do it as a mix pairs. Huh. So 2 guys can sign up for the 2 men's event. You can do it as an individual. Most people do it as a team, as a group of 2.
Okay.
So also hot off the presses is my wife Lori and I are actually signed up for a mixed team, mixed couple event. So we're going to do it together.
Nice.
And so, for example, I could do 500 meters on the row and then get off and let her do the other 500. And then no matter who does what, we all have to run, and you just follow each other. So if I do the farmer's carry, which I'm going to be better at than she is, I can do the whole farmer's carry. She walks behind me.
Yeah.
But when we get to wall balls, she can do 40 wall balls while I recover, and then I'll do 40. And then she
so
does
you
20,
totally tag
20.
team up on it.
So you totally tag team everything.
Nice.
Correct.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
it's what makes it fun is that now we can train together, because we haven't trained together since our California International Marathon. So we used to do marathons together until I got injured. Big shock there. So for us, it gives us opportunity kind of as a couple to do something really kind of cool. There's no pressure. Again, there's age groups, just like it is. It's funny because you sign up, you go age group, and age group winners, and you get a cool patch, and you get to go show up to Worlds if you make your age group podium, that kind of thing. So it's very reminiscent of Ironman. So we're excited to do something. What's nice is, again, it's like a marathon. There's no pressure to finish it under a certain amount of time. You finish it when you finish it. You just pace yourself and go have fun. There are 14-year-old kids that do it. There's 80-year-old people that do it. But what you see online is generally like you would on any sort of Ironman. If you watch an Ironman video, it's always, shirtless people that are really ripped, that are, running like crazy. And it's like, that's not human, right? Let those guys go. Let them do what they need to do. The rest of the world, if you look at it, you do 2 laps or 3 laps, depending on how big the facility is to get your kilometer in. And, half the people are walking, and there's aid stations that you can stop and take so it's just a really kind of a neat idea. I've done CrossFit before, but those Olympic movements scare me, like clean and jerk and snatch and those things. It's the fastest way. Muscle ups, those things are, I think, beyond what most normal humans can do. So I think this is a way to back it off, still be hyper competitive. CrossFitters love it. If you're a competitive CrossFitter, it still gives you that juice. But you're not. Everyone is exactly the same. They start with the same movement at every single event. They don't change it. Nobody's surprised. So you basically train, run like crazy, and you train for the specific movements, and go have fun, like anything else. So I think it's reminding me a little bit different, sort of, a little something in the off season. I think I've been losing my mojo on a few things. On is my why really there for a half Ironman, or am I doing it because I should? Am I doing it because I think I just needed some off season, and with my schedule and everything else, it's just trying to fit in that kind of endurance that a half or above deserves for you to do. I couldn't put in the time that I needed to or wanted to. So,
and you're getting enjoyment out of the heavy weights. So lifting the weights and doing that part of it is.
I lift heavy
great.
stuff and then I put it down. So it's fun, and it'll actually
that's what
force
we
me
need
to
to
do
do.
it. Yeah.
At our age, we need to be building muscle. We lose too much muscle mass as we age. We're in our 50s, some of us late 50s. And so we need to pick heavy things up and put them back down again. And that's fitting right in with that, and the fact that you can do that, as a family.
The irony,
is even better.
The irony of this whole thing is it's forcing me to go run more. So it's easy to go lift heavy things and put them down. Come back out and actually run. Like, crap, because I see these buffed out dudes. Yeah. So I go and I see these guys that are just like, they got the HYROX shoes on, and these guys are all, I see them at the gym, and I'm like, hey, any advice? I'm thinking, you got to make sure you do row and make sure you got, functional movement. They're like, just run. If you do nothing else, go run, because it's going to kill you. If you don't have endurance, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And so for me, that's kind of, I think, my kickstart to go, I think I got to go run now. And I do like running. It's a swim part I hate. So it gives me the ability to get back and start doing more endurance level activities where it's easy to go for me, because I work at a gym. I can just, it's easy to do 45 minutes and, go lift heavy things and go away versus, because it's inside, I can do a quick shower. I see what's going on and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That's pretty awesome.
I was on the fence if I was going to do it. Because we were in love with the idea a month and a half ago, and then as sort of the sign up hasn't occurred, so got the ability, you know what I mean? So that excitement sort of waned. And so, and then Lori, I was going to do it with my son, and he wasn't able to do it. And my wife built up enough confidence where she's like, let's just do it together. And I'm like, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So she's lifting heavy stuff too.
I could convince my wife Wendy to do it as long as she just followed behind me the whole time. She would absolutely like, really? I don't actually have to do anything. Just run a little bit.
Exactly,
with you?
just
like,
run with
do that. Yeah, let's not tell her that part. She might go, let's do that. I'm like, I
don't know. I have no idea. I have no expectation. It's such a new thing. Like I can't. I'm not going to walk in and say we're going to do it in an hour and 20. Like I haven't a clue.
Just go have fun with it. I mean, this is something that you can do together. It changes things up. It uses some of your endurance. It builds all of this. This is where we get creative, and we're not just triathletes. I always say we're endurance athletes, right? Because we should be able to do any of that stuff. We should be able to do runs, cycling, lifting. All of that stuff should come to us. It's a little bit more natural.
And so it's in Chicago in mid-November, so I should be able to.
Mid-November, okay.
So I have more than enough time to get my butt. I can run. I mean, it's run 8 kilometers. Okay, I can do that, but like lifting a bunch of stuff in between.
But not all at once. Like you run 1K and then do something, and run 1K and do something. So it's like it's pacing yourself. It's pacing yourself on the lifting side of it as well. So
and so I think for myself, it's. I told myself in September, just go run. Don't worry about hill repeats or, just get out and start running and get that muscle memory back and be able to do it, get consistency. Then October, we'll start worrying about, start doing hill repeats, start running for power, that kind of thing. And then be able to go in. And the other thing I just got to remind myself, because I always do, and I'm hyper competitive, is whatever the speed I'm going is probably not fast enough. Right, whatever that number is, it's probably it's N+1 every single time.
It's
right,
gotta be
whatever it is. Right, if I'm doing a 9:30 pace, I should be doing a 9. If I'm doing a 9 pace, it should be 8:30. If I'm doing 11, then why am I even doing it? Right, so just get rid of that whole part of my brain and make that go away. So that's probably my biggest setback. Is I always have this expectation, whatever the speed is, it's probably faster than what I'm doing right now, which is terrible. I know. Yeah. So excited.
Well, that'll be fun. That sounds really cool.
So we'll do a follow up on this series and kind of see how things are going.
We'll definitely. We want to add more things to our palette as we're jumping around and doing different sports and things. So it's cool. So and that kind of leads us into like we've got a little bit of a break in the weather here, as I said, in Middle Tennessee. We've got false fall. I think we're on false fall number 2, and then we'll be right back to hot and sticky like usual. We're used to this, but we talk about like as you start to get into your endurance training and running, for that part of it, like when you talk about the numbers wanting to be faster, I think that's one of the challenges I talk to a lot about athletes in the summertime. They're suffering with the runs. So every one of my athletes who's been doing their run workouts through the summer have been just not happy, right? They just feel like everything's off. They're just not doing it. They're getting the work done. They're hitting numbers close to what we need to be. But ultimately, we need to understand that we're not going to be as fast as we really are at a reasonable temperature. For marathoners, a reasonable temperature is 40 degrees. For the rest of the world, it's 70.
Yeah, exactly.
And when we're cooking along when it's 90, 80, high 80s and 90s, we got to know that there's 10, 20% slower at least. And then we should probably back off a little bit more there. Our heart rate is going to be more elevated by at least 10 beats. So know that you have to pace yourself into that. So we're still training in zones. We're still trying to be in that right spot, which just means our speed's a little slower. We don't care about that, right? We're still trying to hit certain zones, whether we're tempo or threshold or zone 2. All of that's still really important. We need to do. So we had Louisville 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now of this recording. We had 2 weeks ago. or a week ago, week and a half. I don't know, something where just recently. It's all one big
every
day
day's
for
been
me.
a week, so I get it.
It's been 7 days every single week for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So we get up to Louisville. We've got a good bunch of athletes that are racing, having a good time. Saturday before the race, it's 99 degrees. The water temperature was 86 degrees. So it was almost like to the point of like no swim, because of overheating. And I think they were calling for Sunday to be race day to be 104 degrees. And on Saturday there was really no shade. There was no cloud cover till late in the afternoon, early evening. It was just blazing hot. So we were making all sorts of adjustments, just trying to make sure everyone got hydrated, stay hydrated, all the way through. Race day was much cooler, though. It ended up being about 94 degrees, which is still really freaking hot, right?
Yeah.
But when you felt it compared to the day before, you were like, we had cloud cover in the morning.
Good.
Right up until I don't know, 11 a.m. or so, like mid to the end of the run was where the sun started to really come out pretty clear. So anyone who was struggling towards the end of the run was struggling a little bit more. Louisville
it's not
did a
trivial
really
on
neat
cloud
thing.
cover though, which is I
No,
think
you
people
still
don't fully
burn,
realize that.
and that's important. That's a really good point because we're still burning right through it, but it's just it takes a little bit of the edge off, maybe.
Yeah, that's about it, right? It's nice, but you're still core temperatures,
you're still baking.
You're still cooking.
So they did a really neat thing. They put buses on the run course, air conditioned buses.
I love it.
At a couple of spots and you've got an out and back. You've got like a lollipop for the bike and for the run. So on the bike there was I think it was a school or fire station. I want to say it was like a school that basically you could ride into, and they had the gymnasium set up with the air conditioning blasting and seats. So if you were starting to feel cooked, you could go there and just take a longer break. They had ice, they had medical, they had all that other stuff. Then you go back out on the course and get going again. And then the run was the best one, I thought, because they put in amongst all the aid stations were 2 buses. I think they had at least 2 buses out there where, you could stop and just hop in the bus and just cool off and then get right back on the course and start going again.
That is brilliant.
I mean,
brilliant.
It's
a simple solution. Like,
right? Easy to do.
Yeah.
That way you're not worried about, the aid station, where am I putting it? Well, put it. And if the bus needs to move, it can move.
Yeah.
You just put them where you want. You just park them right on the road. So I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was really good. I'd actually like to talk to people that used it. None of my athletes ended up using the bus, or at least they didn't tell me they stopped in the bus. Their tracker didn't stop. But I thought that was a really good way to help people deal with the heat when they were starting to feel it. So
I think it's a brilliant idea. I mean, it's such a simple solution. Like you said, you just I need AC. Okay, well, park a bus, and then it's diesel.
It's there. You
so
need
sit there and rattle for hours. Yeah.
You
You throw some water in front. You grab a thing of water. You just let your core temperature go down. You kind of cool off a little bit. You take 10 minutes if you have to, and then you go finish.
That's good.
It's better to take 5 minutes in a cool bus than it is to drag and walk, and you miss 40 minutes because you're too proud to say I need to take 5. And that's a really tough thing when people are
a
hard
decision.
Race mode, right? You're
Plus, if you're the type of person that when you sit down, you don't want to get back up and go.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, right? I know folks that don't like to do multi-loop and like ultra races, because if they come back to the home base, they're done. They're just like, I have no reason to keep going. I'm right here. So I can understand where some people would feel like I'd sit down, I get nice and cool, and then I take a nap and race is over. But I think it was a great option for everybody. That was pretty cool. And everybody did pretty good. They had a lower turnout than the year before. I think the heat kind of has something to do with that, August in Louisville. But it's a really neat race course. It's a really neat race. I wish that I could have been out there racing it.
Yeah. So what's going on with you?
So I discovered this back in June. I've been having leg issues for the last, I don't know, a couple of years probably. Achy legs, sore legs, heavy legs. a bunch of different things that I was not putting the pieces together on. And I was trying to figure out something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. It wasn't stopping me from running. Obviously, I ran a couple ultras and was actually having pretty decent.
I have achy legs, but I popped out a couple 100-mile runs, like you do.
Well, if you run 100 miles in a week,
everything hurts.
Volume wise, your legs feel a little heavy. They kind of sore and achy at times.
Yeah.
I did the shakeout down, my shakeout for the bike and everything to try to get myself into a routine. So our whole year has been blown up anyway, but I still wanted to get out there and at least do something. We do waterfront. I finished the waterfront try, but my calf locked up on me coming off the bike, which was strange. Although I have calf and foot cramps. So these are other little things that are kind of pieces. Yeah, it doesn't stop. Like my feet just are on fire for the next couple weeks.
Wow.
24/7, muscle spasms, feet cramping, legs cramping, muscles firing, all sorts of just random shots. Lower legs, both legs really bad. Start going to doctors and going like trying to figure out blood work and doing everything else. Figure out that it's a vascular disease that's hereditary. So it's essentially varicose veins. Your veins start breaking down, and that the blood's not pumping back up. So the blood is sitting in my legs and has been sitting in my legs for quite a while. Doctor was looking at me like, "Why'd you wait so long to come in?" I'm like, "I didn't know it was a thing." So interesting. I had no restrictions. I have no restrictions whatsoever. You get to see me wearing the high compression socks now all the time. So my fashion status has gone through the roof with shorts and high socks. And that's taken the edge off of it.
Put a nice little pair of slides on there, a white belt, you're set. So
I'm there totally.
Bucket hat.
I'm going to get the white
you
shorts.
You got bucket hats. I wear your bucket hat.
I have my bucket hats, yeah.
Yeah. I try Tom Hart, by the way. Get yourself a bucket hat.
You can get them
it
on the
great,
website.
By the way.
Hop on the website. They're the best.
That's my favorite.
So when I was going through that, I just shut everything down, and that was it for my season. So I'm not.
That's too bad. I mean, it's good that you got diagnosed, though. I mean, nagging injury. To your point, I think there's
and it's not even an injury.
There, right?
It's one of these things where it's like it's a vascular disease. So it's shutting. They're just not working. So
but I think
have to see.
it's a good cautionary tale that listen to your body, right? You were you thought, well, it's normal soreness. It's I feel that way because I've been doing this or I've been doing that, and at some point your body's going to say, "Yee!" And but you caught it.
It's sort of like when the shocks start to wear out in your car. When you don't realize it. You're driving along the road thinking everything's great, and the people next to you are watching your car bounce up and down, bounce up and down. Yeah. It was that. Like I would have achy legs at certain points, and then it would go away. Swimming in the pool was fine. That was fine. After long runs, then it would hurt. Cycling performance disappeared like 2 years ago. Just took a nosedive and then just hung. And I've been struggling with it ever since. So I was trying to figure out what was wrong. So it was interesting. Hopefully this is it. So we'll see.
So do you is it compression socks for the rest of your life now, or is there
that's
kind of more...
one option. One option was just deal with it. Option number 2 was compression socks for the rest of my life, all the time, which I still might have to do. The third option is we're going to go in and do an ablation on the veins and just basically blow them up and close them down, and then force the blood into the good veins. Apparently, other good veins, which
a few to spare. Apparently, so
when do they go? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where I probably end up having compression socks on for the rest of my life at that point. So we'll see. I don't know. We've got that coming up in a couple
I think
weeks.
A sexy pair of Tri-Tomar compression sock line is
I'm
going to
start. Obviously, I'm going to have to make branded ones at this point.
Plaid,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, go all the colors.
I got to go with it, right? Plain white, gray, black is not going to work for me. So I need to.
You can either, accept it or lean into it and make it your own. So.
Gonna have to. So and since I can't wear socks in the swim, I'm gonna have to have a calf sleeve or something on at some point, and then try to get the socks on at transition. So we'll see. We'll see what that shakes out at.
But I mean, are you feeling? I mean, so far with the compression, has it gotten better? At least.
It's gone from like an 8 out of 10 down to a 4, 5 on days that I'm on my feet all the time. So it's taking the edge off for sure. Like, and then the one thing, as the doctor told me, was just kind of like, he's like,
Yeah.
you don't seem like the type to sit still. And I'm like, yeah, no. If you know me, I pace. I pace as I think. And it turns out that I was pacing a lot more because pacing actually made it feel a little bit better. So I was getting 10,000 steps inside my house without even leaving because I was just pacing so much, and it was just not realizing how painful it was. So I try to sit with my legs up as much as possible. I'm learning to work on my laptop sitting with my legs elevated and it on my lap, which is something I've never done before. So I'm not comfortable with that, but hey, well, I mean, it's the new reality.
Like you said, you got it diagnosed. You have a path to at least get it better. You may have a more, extreme path, but like you said, if you go down there, there's no turning back, right? So is that, does that become worse as it goes along? But for now, you're active, you're mobile, you're moving, and move forward, right? It's the best thing you can do.
Still going through. I get, I've gotten the leg cramps to abate quite a bit.
Good.
So I get one run of 3 miles once a week. So
yay!
Lots of walking. Lots of walking and some cycling, so all of that's been good. Some throwing in a swim once a week, so back up to some decent training now. So I'm actually starting to feel healthier, feel better to get some consistent training in, which is kind of fun. So that takes the stress out. But 2 weeks, I think, from now, I go in and we'll do the first. We got to do one vein at a time, and there's 5 of them. So,
yay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think it's important that you're getting back to you're getting to something like a swim lets you settle your mind, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're getting some accomplishment, right? A run, no matter what it is, at least you're getting a run in, right?
Yeah.
It sucks, but you're running, right?
Yeah.
Versus, so, and that just kind of helps with your psyche, right? You like you said, you're a person that needs to move.
Totally.
So being able to have that movement has got to be, the little that you have that compared to what you normally do.
Yep.
That's gotta feel good. So,
and we talked about this with Sarah Milan, and we actually addressed it in one of our other just recent podcasts about what do you do when, like things change and you can't get to your goals.
Yeah.
And that's that focus of, well, what can I control?
Yeah.
In my mind it was frustrating because it just hurt. So it was just trying to figure out what it was. And it's like, okay, what can I control? What I can't, right? And just, I don't worry about what I can't control. Like, here's the facts, here's the details. Okay, I can control this part of it. Let's take a hold of that and then just reset and just go,
and
okay,
then,
fine.
how do we move forward, right?
Yeah. Just move on.
So
to
you
the
can't
next
go back.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So now we got to figure out, okay, this is what we got. What do I move forward? What do I do? This is the hand I've got. So, you go into the game with the team you have. So the team you have, you kind of figure out, okay, what can we do? Right. So
good news is,
readjust and
like I said, no restrictions. I can actually push through anything.
Yeah.
So I can keep doing crazy stuff. So cool. And that wasn't the cause of it. So I know that's been brought up a couple times as like, well, maybe if you weren't running as much or weren't doing as much. Well, it turns out, no, there were 3 ways that this comes about. The first one is pregnancy, not happening. DVT, having blood clots, didn't happen. And the third is hereditary. And my dad had lots of issues with varicose veins and like all his plumbing because he didn't take care of himself, and because it was probably hereditary that was handed down from his father. So good times.
But I mean,
the fun things you learn when you get old.
But the fact you're in the shape that you're in also is a huge factor in how you can recover, right? You also have a horribly high pain threshold, which is probably going against you.
I got that from my dad as well, by the way.
So that's not helping. But I think because people need to realize it's the shape you're in now allows you to have options where if you were sedentary or you didn't do those things, your options would be limited, or you just wouldn't know. I mean, as bad as Louisville was, the fact that you push through, people are pushing through 94-degree weather. People are pushing through a tough circumstance. They understand that, you have to adjust and make changes. And man, that was tough. I mean, those things build that fortitude when you do have a medical condition that you have to face. It's those things that you're like, now my mindset's going to be different than someone who just who avoids those things or doesn't want to go through uncomfortable things or try to figure out how to push through something and know that there's another side. So, I mean, just that alone separates you from kind of what your father was, right? I don't think he was a huge endurance athlete, right? I'm guessing, right?
He was scared to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, facing that would be either you avoid it, or when you do it, you feel defeated and, well, this is the lot in life and this is what I'm doing, where you just don't do that. You're like, I have this, now what do I do with it? And how do I continue to move forward? So
that's how we grow.
That's a huge deal. Right.
That's how we grow.
So,
yeah.
So
good. Super proud of the team up in Louisville for pushing through. Everyone did pretty well. Got it done. We had a good time up there too. Got to see a little bit of Louisville. Got to see a little bit of the city itself instead of being all focused on the race. But ran around, had a good time. Got home, felt good about it. So so we're late season training and racing now is when everybody's feeling it. So athletes that are set up for Chattanooga that's coming up in about 4 weeks or so, and some of the other fall races we got North Carolina Ironman 70.3. So a lot of those races and Arizona,
November,
starting to feel the fatigue of the, kind of in the thick of it. So,
so Tom, when you have
spots.
somebody that's like, I've done Ironman Arizona before, and the hard thing for that is it's almost one of the last ones in this season.
That's a tough one.
So when you have an athlete that's like, to your point, you do the false fall, but then the real fall kicks in, daylight savings time kicks in, everyone's sort of starting to get slower and fatter. You're looking forward to Halloween and to, you know what I mean? You just kind of, everyone's got their race in the rear view, but you still got one coming up. How do you help those athletes to kind of keep that mentality of because right now people that are 4 or 5 weeks still they're still a few weeks away from taper, which means they're probably in volume right now. How do you with the doldrums of summer, kind of people going back to school,
the Chattanooga folks are full on fatigue. Talking with one of my
what do you say to them?
Tired.
Like, how do you get them to continue to focus?
It's interesting because everyone is a little different, right? So the part that I enjoy about coaching the most is that a coaching cue that I give to you won't work with somebody else because, they're different personalities, different mindsets, different there are some people that are similar, but it's finding those cues that work the best. And I think that's what I enjoy a lot about the coaching is that I'm in there and like different mindsets of like, well, what works for this person and how does that go? But there's a lot of trying to get them to think back, take a step back. A lot of it is taking a step back and thinking about, okay, where am I? What's the goal that I want to accomplish? And are those realistic goals we go through? So talking with one athlete last week or the week before, not happy with the swim, just not feeling it, not happy about how they were swimming and going through. And it's like, well, what were you expecting? Like you went into this workout with what expectation? And after we kind of talked through, it's just kind of like, it's just mental fatigue. It's just like, I'm almost tired of training. And at that point,
that's the tough part.
We put some easy stuff in. Like if we're getting into something where we're blowing up and we're getting to that point, if you can push through the first bit of the workout and everything gets better, great. If you can't push through that, then that's where we shut things down a little bit. We take an extra couple of days off. We throw in some extra rest in there. Even though if we're in a big build week, we're going to try to keep building. But if we're not getting there and the sleep's not there, we have to back it off. And that's where we have to, it's not full gas or brake, right? Gas, brake. You need to be able to go like, let's just throttle this back just a little bit. How are we approaching this? How does that fit into our bigger plan? Oh, we've got a little issue here. Let's back off for a couple of days. Let's just take the intensity out of it. Maybe even shorten the volume up a little bit. So you get a little bit of stuff done. Yeah. But then you're able to pick up the gas again and go. We talk about that sitting on the bus for 5 minutes, right? This is the sitting on the bus for 5 minutes and cooling off and relaxing so that you get back out there and you're back up to pace again instead of struggling along at a fraction of the pace that you're capable of.
And continue to be frustrated and
still frustrated and mentally dragging down. So I always go back to a feeling of gratitude. And I try to share that with everyone. It's just like, we get to do this. Like, Don't think about your workout of, I have to go swim today, or I have to go run today, or I have to do this. No, you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. We are very, very privileged to be able to do that. And you choose to do that. You paid to go to this race. You're paying a coach. You're doing, we get to do that. And those simple little mindset tweaks that you tell yourself, your self-talk, make a huge difference. And I mean, it sounds kind of funny and campy to go, oh, like, whatever, we'll just switch a word. Yeah. But it's true. It works that way. And if you find yourself telling yourself, like, no, I get to swim today, all of a sudden that now you're not saying, you're not ending on a down, you're ending on an up. Like, I get to swim today. It's an up. It's uplifting. And if you're telling yourself that will keep you going and kind of running along with it. So that helps tremendously, especially when we get in these deep sections at this point.
Yeah. And I think, going back to that whole why thing, right? And reminding yourself what was the goal you start out with. And it's really, I mean, for me, because I've done Arizona, tried it once, didn't do a very good job. Second time I was able to be successful, but it really was hard because people are going back to work. Kids are going back. I mean, kids are going back to school. You're getting ready for Halloween, and you're like, it's Halloween, and I've got to do 60 miles on a bike because I still got 4 weeks before the
everyone shut things down.
Everybody's shutting down, right? Everything's getting
like,
and they're kind of cool, and they're worrying about kind of stuff. And what are you doing? Well, I'm still out there, and I still have to get up, and it's crispy now.
6 or 7 hours.
Now I got to start putting long
gloves
gloves back on where I didn't have to put long gloves if I would have. And then I cuss myself for not doing an earlier Ironman. Right. Yeah. I should have done Louisville. I should have done Chattanooga. Now you're doing this. Stupid.
Stupid.
But
get it over with.
Right. So, but then you remind yourself your why, and you remind yourself, you got to put the work in order to get the output that you want. And sure enough, when you get there, and what's fun about Arizona in November, it tends to be warm. It tends to be, you get out there and you're amongst your peers at that point, rather than just a solo ranger sitting in the middle of a winter in Tennessee or fall in Tennessee. Now you're with your folks, re-energized. You just got to remember, you're going to get that energy when you get there, right? It's just, we got to go through that trough right now. And to your point, right? I get the opportunity to go swim. I get to keep my fitness up for longer. I get to keep, where people are getting lazy. I get the opportunity to continue to get better. So it's a tough one. It's a really tough.
And the change of time and light during the day is tough, because now you're out running in the dark if you're running in the evening or the morning. Yeah. I love waking up with the light in the morning. So for me, the height of June is perfect, because like for here where we're at, like 5 a.m., it's starting to get, the sun's starting to come up. Not anymore. Like we're already like further along now. It's closer to 6 or after 6.
Yeah, and I think, what's fun for me is like it's funny. Dusk running is okay. When I run at night, for some reason, once the headlamp is the only thing lighting, that to me is fun. I don't know why, because you can't really understand your speed as well, and you're running in the dark, and that seems to be the fun. So for me, it's sort of like, okay, well, great. So now I don't have to deal with oppressive heat. Yep. And I get to run with the light, so I just don't get to see. I don't have to look all around on the massive, like you look up and you're like, great, I still got a mile and a half down the road. I can still see where all I'm seeing in front of me is I'm just seeing where my lamp's at. And you start going inside yourself, right? You start thinking about your pace. You start thinking about the race. You start thinking about and that becomes fun. So maybe the way to do it is you start looking at those different things you get to do. I don't get to go in sweltering heat, right? I get to put long sleeves on in the morning, right? Those kind of things. Yeah. I'd rather. Sure. That shower's going to feel good when you're cold and you come in versus, the shower when you're hot.
Trying to cool down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you finish the hot run. You take a somewhat hot shower and you come out and you're still sweating.
Sweat. Yeah, exactly.
You're just like, I'm not drying off.
Yeah. And then you try to go to work and all you're doing is like, you have sweat stains and everything. I was like, how's your morning? You're like, okay, don't. Stinky Kenny over there. So
excuse me a second. I need to stand in front of the AC for a little bit and bring my cord.
But to your point, find those things that give you joy, right? Not everything's going to be, on the one hand, you're like, crap, I'm still training while everyone gets to have fun. But you know what, I get there's some little joys that I get. I get to take a hot shower when it's cold. I get a.
Of course, it's always easier if you're seeing some results, like your times, you're getting the work done. If you start to have some injuries or some little niggly things that pop up, and that makes it a little tough too. But I mean, it's just sit back, sit down, think about it, and just be like, why am I doing this again? Okay, because we're always asking ourselves, why are we doing this? Middle of the race, it's like, what the hell was I thinking? The deeper why certainly helps get through that as well. So
so for the folks out there, we've been there. We know this is this is this time where you find the small fun stuff. Maybe yes, I'm going to take a piece of candy when I get done. Where before we wouldn't have candy because now it's Halloween. I can have a little piece of candy. So that kind of thing, right? Or I can have soup
fueled by candy corn. My 6-hour bike ride fueled by candy corn. That almost makes me want to vomit just thinking about it.
Hey, whatever gets you by, right? I mean, whatever gets you to the finish line. Yeah.
Some waxy sugar.
I was just talking. Actually, I was talking to Suppinger, who was on our podcast a few months ago. He just finished Leadville 100 run.
Oh, yeah.
And we both said the same thing at the same time, which is, the wheels are going to fall off. It's just when the wheels are going to fall off and how you're going to recover is what you're training for. And sure enough, his wheels fell off, but he was able to recover and go whatever. So you're going to go into a dark spot. So the same thing as training. Like, this is going to be the hard part for the training, but that's okay because you're going to come back and you're going to be ready to go for the race. Yeah. And I think that's a great analogy of just, it's how far into the race before the wheels fall off, and how deep are the wheels going to fall off. If you can, if it's a slight dip and you're able to just get back and if you get GI issues or cramping or whatever, you're able to get back like you did, right? You said you remember your hands were cramping up like crazy, and then all of a sudden you had, potatoes for hands, and you just go through that, but you come out of it and you figure it out and you move forward. So
you think about okay, what's going on? What is actually happening? How can I adjust for this? And then make those decisions and go, is it working? Yes, it's working. Thank God.
Well, and hey, for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to have big, long, ugly stuff, but that's fine. Because on the other end, I get a taper week and I'm going to be race ready and ready to go. So
and then you go have some fun. Do what we paid for.
That's right.
Do what we paid for. So nice. Cool. So hopefully that gets everybody all jazzed and juiced up and ready for the fall races. Let's do it. I'm excited. I want to race some more. So
good.
We'll get to that.
I want to see you out there.
We'll get there. We got to start planning next year. We got to think about that. We'll have an episode where we're going to sit down and throw some ideas out here. And we're willing to accept ideas from everybody. So if you have some great, crazy, hairy, scary things for Kenny, especially.
Tom will be more than happy to do it. Oh, wait a minute. So,
let's throw them up to us, and we'll take a look at them.
I've done dumb stuff in the back,
we'll kind of run some stuff. If it's a 200-mile race or a 100-mile race or some, I want to throw some mountain biking in next year. And so we'll figure some stuff out.
Gravel.
And Kenny's going to gravel.
I think I have an idea for next year.
We're going to have a good episode coming up shortly, real soon. It's going to talk about gravel and gravel riding and racing. And a lot of it, there's some cool stuff in Tennessee. So for those of you out of town, come visit. But so thanks everybody. Make sure thumbs up, 5 stars, reviews, all that good stuff. Send us notes, comments. I do occasionally get out and read them when I find them. I'm terrible on social media. I'm going to fire the social media manager we have, which is me. So we'll get better at that. We keep trying and getting better. So we appreciate everybody. Send in your comments. And Kenny, as always, this is a blast. I enjoy doing this. This is episode 86, I believe.
Crazy.
Which is kind of nuts. So thanks everybody for all of that. And we will catch you on the next one.